Justin Lin has quit Fast X, otherwise known as Fast and Furious 10. We're going to be breaking it down because there is something specific about Vin Diesel. Now, I do want to remind people I'm not a scooper, nor do I work within the industry. I'm just somebody who's kind of putting pictures together, trying to figure out what's going on. But I am a big Fast and Furious fan. Everyone who's been subscribed to the channel knows I'm a big fan of the franchise. I've liked every movie besides Fast 9. Yes, I even like Too Fast, Too Furious. And I know a lot of people don't like that movie. I like Fast 4. I know that one's not that popular. I mean, everyone loves Tokyo Drift. Come on. Who doesn't like Tokyo Drift? But, excuse me. Um, but Justin Lin had a breaking point. It is being said that apparently it got so bad that he slammed a door. It ended with, let's just read this Hollywood Reporter top. It says, a Saturday to Remember. It started as a talk about notes with franchise star and fellow producer Vin Diesel, escalated into a major disagreement, and ended with a slammed door. Justin finally had enough and said, "This movie is not worth my mental health." Those are those are some major words, and we have to remember this isn't Justin Lin's first Fast and Furious movie. He did 5, he did 6, I believe he did 8, I believe he did 9. Uh, he was I forgot what other movies he did, but I think there was one more I'm forgetting, but I don't know. But I know he did make the most popular Fast and Furious movie, and that was Fast 5. Fast 5 was basically the jumping point. It was the starting point for this brand new phase in the fantastic I mean, not fantastic, in the Fast and Furious universe, where no longer were they just street racing, they were now saving the world. And to me, Fast 5 is still the best Fast and Furious movie. And this is coming from someone who even likes, like, the Fast and the Furious. The first one is probably the top 3 favorite Fast and Furious movie. But Justin Lin had a breaking point, and I'm actually going to talk a lot about how Vin Diesel's probably a problem on set for the Fast and Furious, because it actually came out not long ago that now this is the most expensive Fast and Furious movie due to them having to change directors, having to delay, having to schedule. Because look, a lot of us fans, we don't know what filmmaking really is like. A lot of people just assume you turn on a camera, you get a green screen, and there, boom, you get actors to do whatever you want. It's not that easy. Sometimes green screen doesn't work, so you actually have to go to places. You have to go to certain scenes. Like in Fate of the Furious, they actually shot a scene in Cuba, and it took a while to get the licenses to film there, because yes, you do need permits to film in certain areas, because you are going to cause that place. A lot of times if it's a street, now people can't drive through there. Now there's a lot of stuff. It's very complicated, so typically you only have a certain amount of time to film in those locations, because after that certain amount of time you just no longer have that time to spare. Also, I just had to turn on the light because I completely forgot to. But it's very stressful, and especially these Fast and Furious movies, which they go all around the world. Fast 5 took place in Brazil. Of course, Fate of the Furious went to Cuba. The first one was in LA. It's these movies are incredibly diverse. These movies have incredible places they go to. It's like different, unique spots. It's not just as simple as, let's go to a random street and start racing. No, it's not that anymore. Now you actually have. It's very complicated to explain. And looking at this entire article, it's just stress. It's just disappointing, because from what's Justin Lin saying, or from what it's imagining, apparently, and I don't want to read the entire thing. You guys can go read it yourself. But apparently, Vin Diesel would come to set late. He would come in overweight. He didn't remember his lines. He kept constantly changing things in the script. Let me bring up this point. Vin Diesel posted this. I believe his daughter. I don't know how old she is. But I think she's just a kid. But her daughter really. This is what Vin Diesel's saying. Her daughter wanted Maya, I forgot the name, but the sister of Dominic Toretto, wanted her character. I mean, she wanted her character to come back, and apparently Vin Diesel, the way he made it sound was he made it that they worked it in, that they just put her on in the movie. And I won't lie to you, in Fast 9, when I look back at that movie, that character of Dominic Toretto's sister was just kind of pushed in there randomly. It's like she didn't fit the narrative. Why is she so good at combat? It's so weird how the Fast and Furious franchise operates. I mean, Han's return. I think Han's return. Don't get me wrong. Justice for Han. I love Han. Han was one of my favorite characters in the franchise, but his return was completely butchered. It was stupid. It was silly. It was honestly horrible. That was the explanation. They didn't even give you an explanation. They just said he faked his death. How did you fake your death? I don't know. And it's like, what, this character that you teased their death, this big character, and all of a sudden you just decide, yeah, let's just bring him back because Justice for Han. And don't get me wrong, Justice for Han, I was so hyped up when we saw Han in those trailers. But if you're gonna bring him back with a purpose. Make everything make sense. His return was just silly. I felt nothing. And this is one of my favorite characters in the franchise, which is why Fast 9 to me is the only Fast and Furious movie that I considered a failure. I mean, obviously not financially. A lot of people went to go see that movie, but as overall arching for the franchise, it is a disappointment. And the reason why I bring that up is that over here, they're saying Vin Diesel and Justin Lin had a lot of disagreements, and one of those disagreements was Vin Diesel constantly changing the movie. I cannot blame Justin Lin because when you're a director, you're dealing with the studios constantly calling you up, telling you, hey, we got to film this, we got to film that, we got to do this, we got to do that. Director, you're the one in charge. Come on, give us. And remember, Vin Diesel's a producer, so Vin Diesel has a lot of power. And in fact, before Fate of the Furious, I believe, Vin Diesel even pitched in to be a director. Imagine if he had all that power. And I can't blame Vin Diesel because Vin Diesel, let's be honest right now. Vin Diesel isn't this major star. I mean, yes, he's a star, but he's not this Dwayne Johnson figure where you can go to any franchise and make them a billion. Well, obviously, no actor does that anymore, but forever really. But Vin Diesel is more of a, everyone knows him as Fast and Furious family with Dominic Toretto. No one really knows him as this big star power. I mean, besides this, what does he have? I believe he has Groot. I mean, sure, he does the voice of Groot, but does anyone even know that? No. I mean, yeah, he did try having a superhero franchise with Bloodshot. That obviously didn't work. And so Fast and Furious is his baby. He was there from the beginning of the franchise. He's the face of the franchise. And so to him, it's like you need things. And it's annoying because and again, I don't know the behind the scenes, but Justin Lin. But by the way, Justin Lin didn't make this public. This was something that was found out in private. But Justin Lin was offered approximately 10 to 20 million to direct this movie, and he walked out. He walked out because this movie's not worth his mental health. He says it right here. This movie is not worth his mental health. If somebody is willing to step down from 10 to 20 million dollars, then holy crap, you must have messed up. And I can't blame Justin Lin because he probably has made a lot of money from the other movies. His name is pretty well known, so obviously he's going to get jobs in the future. Um, so my assumption is he thought about it long term. He didn't want to stress himself out, but it is what it is. And Vin Diesel is probably a problem on set. And let me bring up another example. The Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson feud. You guys remember the feud. Let me bring up the part that Dwayne Johnson put out. Where was it? Okay, so this is when the beef kind of became public. And basically it says here, the beef became public to most people when The Rock posted an Instagram message around the end of shooting Fate of the Furious in August of 2016. In it, he criticized unnamed male actors he worked with using one of the great Rockisms, candy ass. He uses that when he's pissed. There's no other franchise that gets my blood boiling more than this one. My female co-stars are always amazing, and I love him. My male co-stars, however, are a different story. Why am I getting Gucci ads? He wrote, some conduct themselves as stand-up men and true professionals, while others don't. The ones that don't are too chicken to do crap about it anyways. Candy asses. 2 days later, Johnson posted allegedly lengthy Instagram caption that framed attention. And my assumption, excuse me, my assumption is he's talking about Vin Diesel. I mean, that was everyone's assumption. Obviously, I'm not new to this game, but we have to remember that Dwayne Johnson, he's a very respectful man. He takes everything serious. Like, this guy cares about his business. He cares about the finances. He cares about everything. I mean, how else is he gonna get this clean shave on his head? You know, I'm just kidding. But it's even said by people who work with him. He's always there early. He's always there being respectful to everyone. Even John Campea, I think when he did an interview with him prior to this, Vin Diesel had this thing where he knew how to talk to people, where he knows how to make you feel like what you're saying is important. And I mean, not Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson genuinely cares about every project he does, because obviously this is why he's the most popular actor in Hollywood. There's no doubt about it. Right now, he is the big guy in Hollywood, quite literally and metaphorically. But Vin Diesel, seeing what Justin Lin said, seeing what Dwayne Johnson's saying, is it possible that Vin Diesel is just not being respectful on set? Again, the claims that Justin Lin are making is he's coming to filming late, he's coming in overweight, and he's not messing up. I mean, he keeps messing up his lines, and he keeps trying to change stuff in the script. Can I just say this about actors? I'm fine if an actor tries to input something, like, let's say, like, for example, let me use a good example. Leonardo DiCaprio in Inception. When they were filming Inception, of course, Christopher Nolan's one of the biggest directors in Hollywood. When Inception was being filmed, DiCaprio would talk to Nolan. He'd be like, "Hey, maybe this scene needs this, maybe this scene needs that." I think most of it was uh, DiCaprio kept asking for more heart and emotion in these certain scenes, and Christopher Nolan would listen. And I do think it's important for actors to, hey, if they, since they are the characters, since they know a little more about the character, they should be able to tell directors, hey, look, I think this scene is better this way. And I think it's important for directors to be able to communicate with the actor by being like, hey, you know what, I like what you're thinking, but I prefer my vision. Talk to each other respectfully. It's just, to me, the respectful way to talk, as human freaking beings. And I'm fine with that. What I don't like is when actors go out of their way to force a thing, especially when they have as much power like this. Like, one thing that frustrates me about Jason Statham, Dwayne Johnson, and Vin Diesel. Yeah, I'm using all three of them. In their contract, it says that they cannot lose a fight. And if they lose a fight in a movie, it has to be some other reason. It can't be because that person's stronger. And also when they're fighting each other, because if you notice in Fast 7, when Vin Diesel, Dominic Toretto's fighting Jason Statham's character, Decker Shaw, they're landing equal amount of punches. Not Vin Diesel, Dominic Toretto, kind of, he's not like, oh my god, that's one of the cringiest lines. The thing about a street fight, the street always wins. And then boom, he just hits the concrete floor. It's so stupid, but yeah, he didn't win because Dominic Toretto was stronger. He won because Dominic Toretto had like luck of coincidence. They have those contracts, and that I find annoying, because a director, filmmakers, writers, they should have the freedom to do what they want with their story. And if an actor has a certain thing, it kind of limits them, because what if you need a scene where a certain character loses? It's like kind of like Shang-Chi. Simu Liu, of course, this is not a fair comparison, because Simu Liu, at least prior to Shang-Chi, was nowhere near the levels of Dwayne Johnson and all that. But in Shang-Chi, Sean loses the fight to Wenwu at the, around the middle point. They clearly show that Wenwu was far stronger, but then later on, even in the final battle, he doesn't even win the fight with Wenwu. He's still tired, but eventually the dragon comes in. And that's what I like in movies. You do have your action hero maybe losing a fight, because how are you gonna make it compelling? I mean, even in Man of Steel, you see Superman struggling to fight Fiora-El, and struggles to fight Zod, and even loses a fight to Batman. And Henry Cavill, he has every right to tell them that, hey, I want to win this fight. And it's really frustrating that you filmmakers have to limit themselves. And I feel like Vin Diesel does that a lot. He tells them, no, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I think I'm not gonna lie, I think one of the things frustrating Justin Lin is he was told he has to bring in Dominic Toretto's sister, who really, let's be honest, she doesn't really do much anymore. She's not really a major part. I was actually surprised that she was helping in combat in Fast 9. I don't know how the heck where did she learn combat? I mean, she was just the sister of a mechanic in the first movie. How is she all of a sudden kicking ass? And don't get me wrong, I'm fine with the character. She's a talented actress, but I don't want it to be where you just force in a character just randomly. And then Paul Walker, I made a video on this. In that same Instagram post, Vin Diesel makes it sound like that Paul Walker's mom wants Paul Walker's character Brian O'Connor to return, and I'm sure that Justin Lin probably doesn't want that. He's probably like, hey, this character sailed off. He's retired. He's done. We can continue the franchise without him, and I. I I guess Vin Diesel's like, no, we gotta add Paul Walker. I mean, of course, it's the last two movies, but you gotta let the filmmaker do what they want, unless they're doing something really dumb, which in that case you can step in. But at the same time, why do you hire a filmmaker if you're not gonna let them make their film? At the end of the day, it's frustrating. And I get if you do before the movie films. Let's say you get Matt Reeves in to do the Batman, but he wants to have a sex scene between Catwoman and Batman, but you want to keep the movie PG-13. Yeah, let him know that prior to filming. You do that before. Why do it during? Because then that just messes up. And you got it before negotiating. That's one of the reasons why I think Kathleen Kennedy should be fired from Star Wars, because Kathleen Kennedy, one of the problems that she has had is that she cannot get on board with her filmmakers. Look at the Star Wars sequel trilogy. I love Force Awakens, and I thought Last Jedi was alright. But look at Rise of Skywalker. It just felt like a convoluted mess because you had freaking J.J. Abrams at the beginning. Then you had Rian Johnson's own vision, and then all of a sudden J.J. Abrams. It's like it didn't even feel like one connected trilogy. Like, what was even the point? And don't even get me started with Solo Star Wars story. That I don't even have to explain that. You guys already know what I'm talking about. But it's the thing. You got to get Kevin Feige. One of the things I praise about Kevin Feige is he's always getting on board with his talent. He's always telling his creators, James Gunn, hey, James Gunn, you have to limit yourself. There are some things you can't do, but I'm going to allow you to do this before. And then, of course, you have with Chloe Zhao. With Chloe Zhao, it's like, hey, you can do this, but you can't do that. It's kind of like a pile mix. It's like he knows what to limit from a director, but allows him to still be creative at the same time. And that's one thing I praise about Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige knows how to work with his directors. He knows how to get the best out of them while also continuing his franchise the way he intended in his timeline. And I think Vin Diesel doing this to Justin Lin is disrespectful. Also, coming in overweight, you're an action star. It's funny because Vin Diesel wants to be the face of an action franchise, but yet doesn't even bother to work out. What the heck is the point? This is a franchise that has handsome people like Jason Statham, Dwayne Johnson, John Cena just recently came in. You gotta look good, man. You gotta look good, and you look good. But if you're in a big action franchise, you gotta at least be in decent shape. And you're coming in late. You are literally the face of the franchise. You have been there from the very beginning. You are the leader. Be the leader. As a leader, you gotta excuse me. You gotta lead by example. How do you expect everyone to respect you if you're not trying to earn it? So you're coming in late? Come on. And these movies are very difficult to film. These movies are not easy. Especially because family is going to space. Or already went to space, but I'm going to assume all of them go to space now with the freaking DeLorean, and Lightning McQueen shows up halfway through the movie. But you're the leader. You gotta be the one that everyone looks at. When actors are working, or directors, anyone, they gotta be able to look up to you. They gotta look at him and think, hey, he's an example. Why do you think Dwayne Johnson's at that position? People look at him with respect, with power, and with authority, because he has proven time and time again that he's earned that respect. He's earned it. And yes, you definitely earned it with the franchise, but you gotta still keep showing people why you earned that respect. And again, this is your baby. This is your franchise. You're the face of it. You're never going to get more control in a franchise than Fast and Furious, so you might as well take advantage of that. This is a $1 billion franchise at this point. Fast 7 made $1 billion. Fate of the Furious made $1 billion. I forgot how much Hobbs and Shaw made, but I think it made close to that. In Fast 9, it didn't make $1 billion, but that's because that was at the height of the pandemic, and yet it still nearly made $800 million. That is still more. I think I made a little more than the Batman, which is in less of a pandemic time. And the Batman's obviously more loved than Fast and Furious 9. So lead by example. And then not memorizing your line. Again, you were the face of the freaking franchise. There's no reason why a filmmaker who has made these movies time and time again and has probably made the best movie out of all of them, there's no reason why he should be denying a $10 to $20 million contract because of your candy ass, as Dwayne Johnson puts it. How? And this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter. This is the most reliable source in Hollywood. This is not looking good for Vin Diesel. And this is coming from someone who's a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise. I've loved Vin Diesel in this franchise. He's not my favorite character. My favorite character is still Brian Connors. Obviously, that's Paul Walker's character, especially in the first movie. And I love Dominic Toretto. But, if you care about family, then you come in, get in shape, try memorizing your line, let the filmmaker do what they can, and try to lead by example, especially when you're the face of a franchise. This movie's already been delayed. This movie now costs $300 million to make. So you're gonna hope that movie makes $1 billion, or at least $900 million or $800 million, somewhere around there. But you gotta at least hope that it's gonna do far better than Fast 9. You're gonna have to hope a lot of these things, because now it's in a lot of crap. And not only that, but you're leading for example, but these are the last two movies, because we got Fast X, and then the next one is going to be the final one, as they've announced. It's going to be like a 2-part special. It's like you've already announced that these are the final movies. In the final movies, you got to put your A game on. Imagine if we heard this about Chris Evans on Avengers Endgame. Imagine if we had heard that. How embarrassing would that have looked? Or Robert Downey Jr. in Infinity War. It would have been embarrassing. We would have been calling them out. This does not look good, Vin Diesel. This does not look good. And you're the face of the franchise. You gotta set that example. Everyone's looking at you. They're not looking at me. They're not looking at Tyrese Gibson. They're not looking at Ludacris. They're not looking at anyone else. They're looking at you. And not only that, but you got big actors coming in. You, of course, got Jason Momoa coming in, and you got Brie Larson coming in. Those are two big actors. It's like, you got to set that example. They're coming in. They're debuting in the franchise. They got to see what you're doing. And if this is what you're showing them, how do you expect any other actor to take this franchise serious anymore? How do you expect that? And this isn't just any franchise. This isn't just an indie movie. This is now a $1 billion franchise. A franchise that has proven time and time again how much it's loved, how much money it's made. Sure, it's gone really stupid. Fast 9 was a really stupid movie. But you know what? It's making in money. And if it's making you money, then you got to respect everyone's paycheck. Everyone on that set is working hard. And if you're not, then what's the point? But anyways, sorry for my rant. I didn't even mean it to go that brutal. It's just, I want the best for this franchise. Oh, I didn't even mean to. Sorry, guys. I meant to exit. But again, how? I don't get it. It's just frustrating to see. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. You guys let me know in the comment sections, what did you think? Do you think that Vin Diesel is the problem? Do you think he's causing this? Whatever it is, please let me know in the comment sections. But first, I'm going to read off the members. I want to thank them for supporting the channel financially. We got Pedro Bonilla, Rhea, BK Dan, Lit Alex, the CJH, Mad Max, Ashley the Widow, and Daniel Martin. Thank you guys for becoming members. And if you want to join the membership program, it is only 99 cents a month. It helps support the channel. You get a shout out at the end of every one of my videos. And yeah, you're on the list. I write your name on the list, like right here. You see that? Not a big list, but a list nonetheless. And make sure you join the family to support us financially. Again, only 99 cents a month. So yeah, and also my camera didn't focus. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? Do you think Vin Diesel is turning his back on family? Or, I'm just kidding. I don't mean to say that, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.